Okay. Now let's talk about Caitlinclark, Kamilla Cardoso, Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever. But before we get started, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Gertie Mac Show, taking y'all time to subscribe to my channel, liking it, and sharing all my videos. I really appreciate all that. Now let's go. So the Chicago Sky got beat like eggs, and it was bad like Michael Jackson, by the Connecticut Suns that got them eliminated from the WNBA playoffs. The Connecticut Suns blowed out the Chicago Sky 87-54. They beat them by 3 decades. Look, this was an embarrassing loss for this team. Teresa Weatherspoon, Angel Reese, she wasn't playing. Kennedy Carter, a lot of the star players wasn't playing. So you got to ask yourself, it was their star players were playing, would Chicago Sky have kept that 8 seed to be in the WNBA playoffs? Because Atlanta Dream, who was also fighting for a spot in the WNBA playoff, they won their game and they did secure that 8 seed spot, which you see Indiana Fever is number 6, and they're going to be playing Connecticut Suns. The Phoenix Mercury secured the 7th spot, and Atlanta Dream secured the last spot, the 8th seed. And Washington came in 9, Chicago came in 10. Now Chicago Sky has had a horrible second half of the WNBA season after the break. It just has not went well. Now, even after this loss, 2 of their players in the post-game interviews, you see here Dana and Izzy, kind of like expose some things, called out Chicago fans and talk about how people was really not showing support like they should have, because they were saying all the people on the internet that was talking bad about the team was actually the Chicago Sky fans. And they also talked about the new fans. Izzy talked about, she broke down in tears. She talked about the new fans and like, if all this new spotlight is going to come with all this kind of talk and all this kind of, stuff that's going on, basically almost like they didn't want it. But this is the spotlight that the WNBA has been asking for years, and they finally got it. Now, Caitlinclark and Angel Reese, since they've been drafted, we all know this when this new spotlight came in. Now, a lot of Chicago Sky star players wasn't playing in the last couple of games, and people felt like the team quit on them. Now, Kamilla Cardoso, Angel Reese, and Kennedy Carter, and a whole lot of other starters wasn't even playing the last couple of games. But after they got eliminated from the playoff, people for the whole season has really been wanting Kamilla Cardoso to kind of like, see better opportunities, because they found like they kind of feel like she's kind of been, in the shadow of Angel Reese. So after this loss, people said that Kamilla Cardoso should considering joining Caitlinclark with the Indiana Fever. She should leave Chicago Sky, Teresa Weatherspoon, Angel Reese, all of that, and go play with Caitlinclark and Indiana Fever. Now, hey, that would be a good combination. But Kamilla Cardoso, she shut that down, and she responded and let it be known that there ain't nothing that's going to make her basically leave Chicago. Y'all check out what she had to say.
Love your game. Coming to Indiana. I heard there's not a lot to do in Indiana. How about you coming to Chicago?
So you heard Kamilla Cardoso in her response. She said, I heard it wasn't nothing to do in Indiana. Well, the way that Chicago Sky season went, it seemed like there's nothing to do in Chicago, because right now Indiana Fever's in the WNBA playoffs. But she made it very clear that, hey, I'm not going nowhere. She's not going to Indiana Fever to go join Caitlinclark. Matter of fact, she said, hey, they can come to Chicago. That's not going to happen. But I really think Kamilla Cardoso needs to consider her options or what she really wants to be. Now, contract-wise, I don't know how long she signed for or whatever, but she probably needs to really think about her future, where it's going to be in the WNBA. Is it really with Chicago Sky, or should it be with another team to where she really can get more minutes and more playing time? Because I really feel like her contribution wasn't balanced. Teresa Weatherspoon did the best she could. A lot of people feel like she was trying to give double cheeseburgers to Angel Reese more and more and wasn't really focusing on the team. And, you can say what you want to say, but they had moments where they looked good. But at the end of the day, people are going to break this down to Angel Reese and Caitlinclark have been compared with each other all this time. Angel Reese, Chicago Sky is at the playoffs. Indiana Fever is in. 6th seed or whatever seed. People are going to look at that as Angel Reese could not carry that team. Even in a position where she was out, they still went in a position where they just had clinched the playoff. Now, Teresa Weatherspoon, like I say, she is going to be the one who is going to really feel the brunt of them not being in the playoffs. First year as the coach of Chicago Sky. Hopefully she comes back. You don't really know what these general managers are going to do. Will they bring her back? Will they listen to what people send on the internet and get Spoon out there? Because people want Teresa Weatherspoon fired. They don't feel like she's a good coach. But you can't say that she ain't a good coach and also say the team is bad. That means something wasn't working. But y'all check out what she had to say about them being eliminated from the WNBA playoffs.
Spoon, this obviously wraps the season, but also your first season in the WNBA as a coach. What's your biggest takeaway?
It's tough to see my players like that. It's hurtful to see them speak about things that they've had to go through outside of the game of basketball, how it took a toll on their mental. These are the things that I knew. And I think a lot of times people don't recognize what these players go through just to play the game, how hard it is to come in every day, practice hard every day, go and play in front of thousands and thousands of people, and then reading those things that they had to read about themselves, and me too. It doesn't bother me. So I'm trying to be as helpful as I could to them in those areas of life, because it could take a toll on young people. But what I love about this group, and I said it to them, is they had a no give up spirit. They would never give up. They always gave everything they had. Every ounce of energy they had, they gave. They left everything out there. And if you can leave everything out there, you can walk away knowing that I left everything. All my juice is out there. All my energy was out there. All my effort was out there. You can live with that. And as a coach, to watch them play as hard as they did, there's no excuses. We don't make excuses because we didn't have our full team. We knew we still had to play. And it was hard. It was difficult to sustain the energy down the stretch. But what they did to represent that uniform the way that they're supposed to, representation of themselves and who they are, and then representing that uniform, I couldn't ask for anything more.
When you think about those, what you guys had to overcome, the injuries, I guess, how different do you really think this team would have been? Even going back to like Elizabeth's injury, how much of a difference do you really think that all would have made? Because this team was still very young, still very inexperienced. So I'm just curious what you genuinely think.
Yeah, but when you talk about going all the way back and having Will with us, along with Cardoso, along with Angel, along with Kennedy and Diamond, and they all being healthy, you're talking about a team with an incredible production from your bench as well. You have an incredible bench production as well. But you're talking about losing all of that, and what all of that brings to our team. You lost a lot. We lost a lot with all of them being out. And without a doubt in my mind, we would have definitely been in the playoffs, not fighting for an 8th seed. We wouldn't have been fighting for an 8th seed. We would have definitely been up in numbers with the group that we had. Unfortunately, in this game, injuries happen. And just unfortunately happened to us down the stretch of in a stretch that was so crucial.
DJ Harden, Chicago State of Mind. Lindsay Allen has been an underrated player for you this season. So I just want to ask, What did you like most about her game this season?
I've said this 1,000 times. She's a great leader. She came out and she led our troops. She knows how to steer the ship. You know, she took on a lot of scoring for us as well. When with people being out, she decided she's going to inject herself, but yet making sure that she did her job first as a point guard, and that's to facilitate. And she injected herself. She did a heck of a job of doing that. But then she's a pest defensively. You know, so many things that you do as a point guard, everything is initiated through you, whether that's the beginning of the offense or the beginning of the defense. And she did a heck of a job all season long for us.
And follow up, we talked about the injuries, and it's been a long season. You guys have battled hard. So I just want to ask, like, what was your message to the team heading into the offseason?
I think I'll leave that in the locker room.
Coach, obviously injuries are out of your control, and you take the team out there that you have. There seemed to be a critical window after the Olympic break where the team goes, I think, 1 for 9 in that start. And I'm curious, from your point of view, what had changed? What were teams doing to you? What were you sort of like failing to execute in that particular?
That's just it. We just didn't execute. We weren't the healthiest team coming back in the second half. Had a few players that were not very well at all out there playing, giving everything that they had. But we made no excuses. They made no excuses. They stepped on the floor and they tried to play anyway, tried to give everything that they had. And unfortunately, this is what has happened down the stretch. You know, it's an unfortunate thing because this is what I do know is if we were a healthy basketball team, that we would definitely be a playoff team, without a doubt in my mind.
At the end of the day, Teresa Weatherspoon, Chicago Sky, they're going to have to figure something out for next season. If everybody's coming back and she is coming back, they're going to have to really make some changes and bring some people in that can really help this team get to the next level. The WNBA playoff is going to be kicking off. Indiana Fever is going to be taking on Connecticut Sun, Minnesota Lynx, Aces, everybody. This should be a good thing to see who gets to the top. But y'all get in the comments, tell what y'all think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share this video. Also hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I drop another video, and follow my social media at GertieMac15. Holla.